Welcome to Aussie Gridiron Today for what is week 9 here in the ACT American Football League. Matty C with you, Manjot, who's usually next to me, currently in Melbourne. That's right, he's doing the Capture the Flag tournament in Melbourne, which is only the biggest flag football tournament in this part of the globe. Not just is it a regionally big thing or a nationally big thing, there is international presence from all over the place. New Zealand, East Asia. It's a terrific tournament, and Manjot will be bringing you plenty from that over these next couple of weeks as he is down there for a social media aspect of it and also to commentate a bunch of the games. We've got some great talent from this league right here in Melbourne right now for that tournament as well. So it's a great thing for not just ACT Gridiron in Australia, but it's also one of the newest Olympic sports that will be on show in LA 2028. And that is the breeding ground for where we are going to find the people who will represent us in the green and gold in the flag tournament there. And we're expecting to not just be qualified for that, but to really make some waves. So look out for that from Manjot with Capture the Flag tournament. For me here in week 9, I'm going to get to call the UC Stars in the first game against the Wolves. Now the Wolves top of the table, they're 6-1 coming in. Stars yet to taste victory this season so far, but are improving every single week. Spoke to both coaches before the game and they're actually both pretty positive. We can see that for the Stars, it's not about perfection. It's not about even maybe winning straight away as much as it is about getting experience, being better week on week, and potentially here being on the field is the best training you can get because you're meeting more veteran players and the young roster learns a lot from that. For the Wolves, who are missing a lot of players at the Capture the Flag tournament, guys like Jordi Silvera, Matt Phillips, who's been a league MVP 1 week this year already, Nick Mattress, who's just been a terrific wide receiver addition for them this year. Fellows like that are missing from the squad this week. So we're going to see people playing at a position, we're going to see the depth of the squad tested, but Coach Jason Ray reckons that it should still just be business as normal. They're going to line up with similar formations, they're going to be running a similar offense, and while they're going to have people on defense who haven't necessarily been comfortable playing in some spots, they're going to get a chance to really test their defensive depth, and we're looking forward to this matchup. It is the first place team, the Wolves, with the chance to go 7-1 for the first time in their history against a Star side who are continually on the improvement. Here's the game footage.
But we'll see how they run today. They're up against this Wolves side who also are missing some pieces, and we'll talk about that in a minute as George Dew gets us underway for this week 9 in the ACT Gridiron, and Andrew Noble fields that ball back inside his 5, and he's taken some time to see the play develop, and the ball is out immediately. An excellent hit. The ball pops out, helmet on the bottom of the ball. It flings out, and it is recovered by veteran Grant Clark. And today their special teams comes out with the most impressive play to start the game, and Reece Newberry is leading this offense out here today, much like he did last week, starting this drive at around the 32-yard line. It is 1st and 10. And here is a snap. Hands the ball off. He's got a running back with a big hole out this right side. He's past the first down. He's past the corner and he's in for the touchdown. An incredible opening to this game. It's a touchdown into this right corner. We don't even have the player number. The squad is changing so much, but an incredible start from the Stars.
And I have this conversation with my QB usually a couple times as well. I'm like, sometimes the right way to do something isn't the way that it usually gets done. And it's something that you'll always have to deal with at certain stages. There'll be a risky pass like that, but hell no, he's into the end zone. That's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown. That is Troy Laidlaw off his back foot, passing to the deep side of the field. This is the wide side of the field with the ball on the far hash mark. And Sam Simmons does a terrific job at the top of his route, creating separation, getting open, and taking that catch running toward the corner of the end zone.
Absolutely, and that's just good timing, not only by the quarterback, but also by his receivers. Being able to see that the snap is off, adjust the pace of which you approach, and then to be able to get that and still hit that edge. The Gungahlin Wovles have got a lot of productivity sealing that edge and getting their receivers in motion to the outside. So I'm interested to see if they can continue that throughout the game.
And here we go, Laidlaw going to the hot hand. He lobs it up to Simmons, who out-jumps the man. Tyreek Lee and George Dew was coming across in cover. They cannot stop that. And that is a touchdown to the Gungahlin Wolves, who now take the lead. Sam Simmons, 4 receptions, 2 touchdowns, and we've got a 13-8 game. 100%. I spent most of my afternoons just trying to get up in my corner's head a little bit because it is a bit of cat and mouse. As Jake Christie gets a hand off, he sees a highway down the middle, runs over a man and gets the touchdown on a 12-yard handoff. Straight up the middle, George Dew becomes posterised, and the Gungahlin Wovles take a 20-8 lead. Jake Christie with the touchdown.
And where they've been quite successful so far. So again, very unlucky for the receiver not to come away with it, but great defense from the UC Stars to make sure this doesn't get another 7 points.
Tristan Evans is a very safe set of hands, but gee, just great coverage by the corner. And here we go, the ball's high in the air. Sam Simmons, how did he catch that? How did he catch that? There was a left arm, he brought into his pads, and the defense seemingly melted away. And Sam Simmons with a 6th catch on the day, a 3rd touchdown. And that is a 22-yard completion. The Stars jump out to a 27-8 lead. Troy Laidlaw, 3 touchdown passes today, all to the red helmet of Sam Simmons.
And just there, he almost has another one. So I would not be surprised if he walks over one more today eventually. We'll see how he goes.
He's a savvy defender. He just sort of seems to know where that ball's going to wind up. Newberry gets this ball. He's under pressure, but he gets a great pass across the middle. George Dew outruns a man, breaks a tackle, and he is in open space. And George Dew does what you might expect and takes it to the house. That is a 57-yard completion for a touchdown, and the Stars aren't going away. Well, what's the advantage of putting the ball low and wide like that? Why is he trying to do that?
He's trying to keep it away from the defender. So as you look at it, the higher the ball is, the more chance a defender has to get to it. As you know, playing your position, you want every opportunity you can have to get that ball. So if you keep it low, keep it out of the way of the defender. And I think I've said it already, if your offensive person can't get the ball, no one can. So
no one can. And Troy Laidlaw, as he comes out to the right side, puts his foot in the dirt and a palm right in the middle of a man's chest, then turns back upfield after doing the dipsy do and follows a blocker into the end zone. He's got 3 passing touchdowns today, add a rushing touchdown, and we see the Wolves jump to 34-16 on the back of an 8-yard rushing touchdown by Troy Laidlaw in the most peculiar of circumstances.
So after a tough start in that game, we got to about half-time before the Stars, I think rather wisely, called the game. We saw that the result was not really in question, but what we also saw is that to the Stars, they were starting to really suffer losses of personnel, and by the end of the game, they were down to just one person who was not on the field at any one time. So they started with 15, they were down to 12 healthy bodies by half-time, and it's just difficult to play a second half of a game as your players tire and the likelihood of more nicks and bumps happens when you've only got one reserve. So potentially a really smart move from the Stars. The final score in that game, 35-16, really goes to show that the 16 the Stars put up, they really jump-scared Gungahlin to start with by getting that turnover and that early touchdown, but then that incredible touchdown run by George Dew, absolutely fascinating to watch. Sam Simmons, we're so used to calling his name as a defensive end. He goes out there, catches 7 of the 8 completed passes from Troy Laidlaw, goes and throws up only 3 touchdowns as well. Fantastic. Laidlaw runs one in himself, the 5th touchdown from Jake Christie. 5 extra points from Mr. Automatic Sean Tokley. Did get a field goal to doink off the post late in that second half. So just a lot happening in half a game of football. So I'm with George Dew, who just ran in probably the most entertaining 60-yard receiving touchdown we're going to see all year. Talk us through it. A heck of a play.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Kind of just like looked upfield and like tried to beat the people in front of me really. And I've done it a couple times, just not out into open space in the same way.
It, to me, didn't seem like you had any right to do that, but you just wanted it more. It just looked like I want it more than you play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to try and go forward every time. So,
don't make me jump over.
Yeah.
So a play like that, how does that affect your confidence for the rest of the day? I mean, you're also playing defense, so like it wears you out a bit to do something like that. But do you feel more confident when you come out for the next series after doing something like that?
For sure, yeah, like definitely, it definitely brings up the energy. I think the main thing is it brings it up for the whole team. Like the whole team can kind of get to that next gear and really, get to that next level and keep the effort up for long periods.
It's tough playing on a short squad. I played a lot of my career on teams that didn't have a lot of bodies too, and you end up playing a lot of both ways, and you can end up on the wrong end of some pretty tough score lines. But how do you feel the team's progressing through the season? Because young squad, not a heap of experience, but people learning every week. How's the trajectory going, do you think?
I think it's going really well, actually. Especially, like, you can kind of... It's a little bit hard to describe, but it's definitely improving. And I think this is probably the best week we've had. Really, like, bringing the energy from start to finish. Really, yeah, showing the full effort that we can do, even with, like, 15 to start the game. So it was, yeah, rough, but, like, really showing the improvement there. I think it's good.
It's an excellent performance today. 16 equals the most points that team scored in a full game. You did it in half a game today, so that's got to fill you with the confidence that each week you're getting better and closer.
Yes. That definitely makes me feel like we're improving, but I mean, just the energy on the field was definitely better today. So, yeah, I think keeping that up is the most important thing.
Well, in the meantime, rest up, and hopefully we'll see you next week and give some trouble to the Centurions.
Yes, hopefully. Let's see.
Good on you,
Thank you.
So I'm with Sam Simmons, who had probably about the best day a receiver could have. Takes 7 of the 8 completed passes for Troy Laidlaw today. 3 of them to the house. Mate, how you feeling up there?
I don't know, I got 7 of the 8. I don't know.
It's an old study Matty over here. I keep track of those things.
Right, that's pretty good then.
Pretty good. That might be understatement of the week, mate. How does it feel taking in 3 to the house? Not everyone gets to do that.
It's all about opportunity though. I always thought I could do it. We have plenty of good wide receivers, so I haven't had that many reps.
You say that, but gee, you had a week earlier in the year too. We had 4 catches for over 100 yards. It's this receiving thing. It hasn't gone away, mate. No matter how much defense they make you play, when you come out in the offense, you seem to have the ball magnetise itself to you.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Because I never had that many reps there, even last year or back when I was playing on the 5 years around. So it's good to get lots of reps, lots of targets. But I think they need me in defense a lot, so that's why.
We are about to line up for the big second game. This is one where the Gladiators and the Centurions are a compelling matchup. Centurions, they're definitely missing some heads, and they have not got the strength of roster they've had in the past. Potentially kind of look maybe more like a target that the Gladiators can take down from the old established teams. Gladiators have had a tough time in the last couple of years getting wins. So this is a matchup they circle. They think this is one they can come away with. They're also going to be light on troops. Having talked to the offensive coordinator before the game, Jesse Date, he is pretty certain they're going to have guys who are just picking up backup roles, and they're going to have guys kind of moonlighting in positions they're not used to just to get by. Centurions, they've also got a couple of guys down in Melbourne at this tournament, so they're lighter on troops. There is so much we know about these teams, but in a lot of ways this week, so much we don't know, and we're going to need to see what happens in this game. Let's roll the tape.
They are deemed down, so this is why Husky there, not tackled, but the play stops. Henneke again loads this one up and looks way down the left side to Sam Richardson. It is intercepted by Owen Lewis on the 30-yard line, and he's going to fire up a return. He gets it past the 35-40, out past the 45, almost to halfway, and a tough start for James Henneke, who is now 1 of 3, including that intercept, and it will remain 4th down. So you have to score here, or you leave with no points. They line up with 3 receivers on that narrow side of the field. 1 receiver down here, and Damon Smith sees a matchup he likes. He sees a touchdown opportunity to Noah Haney, who had 2 touchdowns last week, and he's got another. Noah Haney with the touchdown. That is an excellent pass to the back of that end zone. Haney watches it the whole way in, nobody else with a play on the ball, and the Gladiators take a 6-0 lead. Gain might be about the width of a Visa card in terms of gain. We're going to have 3rd and just a shade less than 10 as the ball is spotted right with its nose on the 40-yard line. So 3rd down here, right near midfield. You'd like to see a play that will get you most of it, and Henneke is going to load up and go deep, and Wilson Husky's beaten his guy, taking the catch. He is taking the catch, and he's around the corner. He's into the end zone for a 55-yard touchdown. The Centurions heading back after the touchdown from the Gladiators with a 55-yard strike to cap what is a 66-yard scoring drive. James Henneke, he fakes the handoff to Josh Combe. He runs out to the right side, and it is almost caught, but it is then intercepted by Jermaine Stewart. And he runs that thing back out from practically the goal line to about the 12-yard line. A very, very swift piece of work to undercut that route. and turn it around what was looking like it could have been a touchdown pass. Centurions also have a score. They've got 6 points on the board, and it was thanks to a 13-yard passing touchdown from Damon Smith to Noah Heaney. Damon Smith is the quarterback, and he hits the ball down to, well, Noah Heaney. It is intercepted by Bailey Sinfield, and he is going to take it to the left side. He turns upfield, he gets a block, he turns out to the sideline, and he's going to be taken over the sideline around about the line of scrimmage, maybe better than the line of scrimmage, but late in the play, a flag came in, which makes me feel like we might also be getting a little penalty against the team returning that intercept. We call this plus territory on the 27. So, an excellent result. A low snap to Henneke, but he doesn't mind. He looks up and he sees Sam Richardson with nobody near him. And he catches a touchdown pass to put the Centurions out to a 13 points to 6 lead. A 27-yard receiving touchdown on a one-play drive. Down on this near end. He is one-on-one against Sam Walker. We'll see what happens here as Damon Smith, he looks that way. Josh Combe comes tearing off the edge. He throws this pass to the end zone for Jermaine Stewart for the touchdown. A very patient piece of work to let that play develop, and he used the legs to make it happen. A 5-yard passing touchdown from Damon Smith to Jermaine Stewart to bring this to a 14-12 game, and the Gladiators not going away. But this is going to be first and goal from the 1-yard line, and Centurions, you'd back him in from here. Who's it going to be? Henneke is back, and he claps for the ball. He hands it off Combe. He does not hand it off. He fakes it. He is chased down by Jake Humphries, escapes, and is then brought down on that far side. But has he gotten into the end zone? Has he gotten in? He has gotten in for the touchdown, and James Henneke with a 1-yard touchdown run, an eventful 1-yard touchdown run, makes the score 20 points to 12 and makes this conversion extremely important for John Zadrunka. An 8-point lead is not a safe lead, but a 9-point lead is. This is the importance of this play. You have to get a good snap, clean hold. Here it comes, ball's down, Zadrunka. Is that touched? It's touched, but I think it goes through. It does, and that is a third extra point today from 3 attempts for John Zadrunka, and that is going to push this out to a 9-point lead and a 2-score game. He's talking about it a lot from an offensive point of view, but he said that's also true of the defense. And we see an intercept going the other way as James Henneke throws it, and it is picked off and returned for a Gladiators touchdown. That is an incredible defensive play to run it back on the intercept. What do? Do you put the ball in the air? You've already had one picked off in the end zone. Do you continue on the ground? You've needed just a handful of yards for 3 straight plays and you haven't got them yet. What do you do? What's the call that's come in? Jesse Date marching up and down that sideline, demanding of his offense to score on this drive. And they go for the run again, and this time Lewis is through for the touchdown! And he does it in emphatic style. He runs out of the end of the end zone. He's leaving this in no doubt. And it is 21 points to 18 for the Gladiators. On the comeback here. And if they walk away with the win today, I think he would do very well to not feel like it was one of his better days on the gridiron. Damon Smith, 3rd down and 8 yards to go. Has a man in motion. This is Jermaine Stewart running across the formation. He's going to turn into a block for Owen Lewis, who breaks one tackle. He goes to the corner. Can he get there? He gets the corner, and that is a touchdown. That's a touchdown for Owen Lewis, a second rushing touchdown in the 4th quarter to put the Gladiators in front, 26 points to 21. He found the edge. He got a great block initially from Jermaine Stewart. The corner's held up. The left end of the line held up. He broke a tackle and got to the corner. Saying that the player was stepped out before the ball crossed the plane. To me, that is the only decision you have to make here. Did the foot hit the ground outside of the field before the ball crossed the plane? They're saying the ball crossed the plane, and that is a successful 2-point. That changes things dramatically. It is now all on the Centurions to get this ball and drive it down the field for a tying score. And that tying score must have a successful extra point or a go-ahead 2-point. This is fielded by Tom Clark, 12 yards out. He returns this to the left side. Gets a block, springs around the edge, he brings it! He sprung it and he's in open field! Tom Clark is running it back for an 88-yard touchdown, but wait! There is a flag back on the 36-yard line. It will be first down for the Centurions. But does he spring an 88-yard return because of the penalty or in spite of the penalty? 3 plays without getting across that mark. It is 4th down. And what's the decision from Coach Matt Lure? Last time he had it, it was 4th and 2. They could not get the 2. It is 4th and 6. They keep the offense out. They are trailing. That is true. You can still punt it away and hope your defense can come up with it. But they are going to stay in the game. Here comes the snap. Henneke is looking to his right. He goes to this right side. He's got Richardson over the top. And Richardson is running away from a man. He's going to run this all the way in for a 69-yard touchdown. Sam Richardson, take a bow. Will this determine the outcome of the game? Will this be the last scoring attempt we see? Henneke gets the ball. He fakes the handoff. He heads to that left edge. He's going to keep it. He goes in untouched for the 2-point conversion. And the Centurions now lead this game 29-28.
So we saw a spectacular finish in that game. Centurions running away winners 29-28 in what could only be characterised as the grittiest game I think I've seen in the season so far. Nobody here will leave thinking that the Gladiators deserve anything less than absolute respect for the effort they put up today, having 16 players dressed, which means everybody was playing either offense-defense or their own side of the ball, plus every special teams play. And it just meant that they were gutting it out. And you could kind of see the tightness, I think. A 70-yard play to get the Centurions down this very sideline and into the end zone late in the 4th quarter with a minute to go. Yeah, that is a brave scenario to be in as a defense, and understandably, part of the career I played too was often in teams which were short-handed, and you're finding yourself in positions where you're playing against a team with a bigger squad who weren't so tired late in the game against you with a smaller squad and were a bit more tired late in the game and losing games in excruciating fashion like that. Very, very impressed with the two teams. In fact, I caught a couple of players from the winning side, interviews with both Wilson Haskey and Sam Richardson, who between them combined for 3 of the 4 touchdowns, including that incredible finale touchdown down the sideline. Let's go. So I'm with Sam Richardson, who scored 2 of the most important touchdowns of the season, I'd say, for this Centurions team. None less than a almost 70-yarder running away from men to put yourselves in the position to try and take a late lead. Mate, take us into the helmet of what that's like as you're running away from men. What is it?
It's honestly a little bit surreal when I catch the ball. I just started to run straight. I didn't even think about someone being on me or being behind me. It was just, I saw a hole, end zone was there, knew we were down by 7, had to get in, just took off. Thankfully, the old legs didn't give out, had the speed to get...
Don't say old legs to me, mate.
Had the speed to get away, thankfully, and get that touchdown to allow Red Bull a chance to get a win.
My goodness. And so timely, right? The offense had been having a bit of a battle in that 4th quarter, getting anything done after the first half. It seemed much smoother. But you had to have it. You had it. That's sort of the culture of the team. They pull together in the moments that you need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got a great bunch of guys here. Lacked a little bit of focus early on. A few mental mistakes. It was just all on us. And the Gladiators played a hell of a game. So we really had to come back in the second half. Big talks from our leadership, trying to pull us all back into focus and really focus on playing the level of football the Centurions are able to play. And thankfully we were able to pull it together late in the 4th quarter. I mean, if ever there was a time to stress to put some focus together, it's with a minute and a half left in the 4th quarter down. So thankfully we were able to pull it off, and it feels good. It feels really good. But I mean, the Gladiators played a hell of a game. They came in hard, so just thankful to be able to pull off a win.
100%, they gave you all you could handle. Now, I'm burying the lead a bit because that 69-yard touchdown play, that's great, but it's not the only time you breached that end zone today. You also had a 27-yard touch in the first half.
No, that was That was a good one. I actually
Yeah.
wasn't even thinking about that at the end of the game. I kind of forgot. I was too busy focused on trying to get a win. Just knew early on that trying to get up for touchdowns was always the aim.
Yep.
With, Red Bull having to step in a quarterback, taking on that one receiver slot. Yeah, it feels good. All touchdowns feel good. Doesn't matter if they're 1 yard or 100 yards, they all feel great. To be able to get us back up after that, it's good.
Yeah.
It feels good no matter where it is in the game, early on, late. Touchdowns are good.
100%. Well, mate, thank you for giving me some time after
No worries
you
at all.
star in this comeback. Big fourth quarter comeback. But rest up
Yes,
and
thank you.
give them all you can give them next week when you take on the UC Stars.
Yes, no worries. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So I'm with Wilson, the Juice Husky, who caught only the most brilliant touchdown catch of the first half. 55 yards down this very sideline we're on, mate. How's that feel early in the game?
Pretty good. It just likes to amp up the team, really get everyone going, set the tone for the game. But, we got to keep working, keep playing through the game. It's only, first quarter, but keep going.
Yeah, pretty early on, they'd scored early, and this was the response, right? The very next drive, come back and hit him with a nice long play. How does that go with it? So it's a bit of a confidence game, sometimes being a receiver. Catch a ball like that, mate, you must have felt like 10 foot tall and bulletproof all after.
Yeah, I wish I was 10 foot tall, but it really sets us apart, Just going.
Mate, you're already the person who's caught my favourite touchdown of the year from that one you had in...
Against the Glads,
yeah. That one earlier in
I
the
could
year.
only score against them, but
Over the top of them, man. But, mate, that one, it rivals it. It's an exhilarating feeling running away from people knowing there's only you and air till the end zone.
Yeah, I thought it was I got taken down, but I stood there for a second and realised, wait, he hasn't got me down. And then kept going there. I had my arms up because I've been playing too much flag, but yeah, we got him.
You got him, mate. And 5 receptions today. How's that go in terms of just volume? Feeling good? Getting the ball in the hand feels good?
Yeah, better than at training. Some of the guys around here would say I didn't made up for it this game, but yeah. It's good. Definitely feel like part of the team, doing my job. So
yeah, brilliant. When you lose your biggest receiver target to having to play quarterback because your quarterback's away,
well,
everyone else has to step up, right?
If you ask me, I prefer him at quarterback, but
you do after that.
Yeah, well, just in general, yeah. It's good to see. But, yeah.
Well, mate, thank you so much for making some time with me.
Absolutely,
Rest up.
no
Let's see
problem.
more of those this year, mate.
Thank you very much. I will.
With week 9 behind us, we saw, of course, the Wolves get their win 35-16. We saw this one 29-28. What does it tell us? So we've got a situation where we know that the gap between second and third is too big now, and the Gladiators have no way to leapfrog anybody into second place. So it means there's a top 2 and a bottom 2. It does mean, though, that the Stars are still mathematically in a position where they can leap into third. And we also know that Centurions in a position where they and the Wolves could circulate between 1 and 2 between them. It does mean, though, that with 7-1 as their record this far into the season, it's the first time they've ever been 7-1, that the Wolves are in the box seat to take the number 1 seed into a Capital Bowl again this year. We'll see how that transpires, because there is still enough time for things to change there. But we did see with last week's win over the Centurions, and then how the Centurions had to go back getting their win today, they aren't completely bulletproof, but they were also missing a few guys. We do know that with James McCullough, the usual first-string quarterback, and also Lachlan Clark, one of their great defenders down in Melbourne for the Capture the Flag tournament, a little short-handed, plus missing guys like James Majali, others on the list. In the camp for the Gladiators, we saw them missing Isaac D'Alvia on defense and Matt Morrison, who plays a little bit of a bunch of stuff. So for them too, a little short-handed in that respect, but also just missing teammates. They had the return of Peter Stozic, and they even had Daniela Stozic out there for a while. But yeah, they were still just missing folks. Heads who are usually here, they just weren't here. Admirable performances from guys like Noah Heaney. Miles Burrow, I think, played out of his skin. Jack Panaccio almost had 2 intercepts today after having not taken one in quite a while. He almost had 3 in 2 weeks. But an impressive weekend of American football here in the ACT. On behalf of everyone at the Aussie Gridiron Network, I'd like to thank Manjot Melly for having this week down there, because it's given me the chance to do this show, and I think it's been a lot of fun. Don't know if I want to take it off him, but also I'd like to thank Jesse Date from the Gladiators Gridiron team for helping me with the first game. He provided colour commentary for me in that first game between the Gungahlin Wovles and the UC Stars. For the second game, yeah, okay, I was flying solo, but it'll be good to have Manjot back. In the meantime, you can catch all of us at the Aussie Gridiron Network by following this link, linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. There, you'll find the fellas at G'day Gridiron. That's Brad, Ian, and of course, Nick Cosme, who plays in the South Australian League. They do a great job of breaking down all the NFL analysis that you might want from an Aussie perspective. You find me and Taylor, plus some of our great guests. This week we had Courtney Ward, social media guy for the Sydney Kings basketball team. He came and joined us, an avid fantasy player, did a great job. You can catch our starts of the week show for the Sunday show. You can always catch us talking about our guest and doing some breakout talk on the Friday show every week. And also, I just want to give Manjot a shout out for Manjot Night Football. It's back. You can find it on his YouTube at Pastry Press NFL, where you find this. This show, Aussie Gridiron Today, will also be podcasted form, and you can find that everywhere you get podcasts. So find that all at Linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. You can even get yourself some pretty cool merch. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you all in week 10. Hooroo!